All right, guys. So in this video, we're going to learn to capture limited choices. Okay, so we have two examples here. So if you look on the right side, the front end of your app. So there are two questions. What's your favorite state? And then there's a drop-down menu of 50 states. And then the second question, what's your favorite animal? And then there's six choices, right? So two different cases, long list, and then small list of choices, right? So on the left side, we have the code. So we have animals of six choices here, animals vector. So that is, so for that, we're using radio buttons function, okay? And for 50 states, so there's a state.name contains 50 states. We're using select input function. So in other words, both of these functions are to capture limited choices, but select input is for a long list of limited choices. In other words, many options, and it shows as a drop-down menu. And radio buttons function is more appropriate for small number of choices, right? So let's do this in our studio. So let's go to File tab, Save As, and let's replace this 4 with 5, and then hit Enter. So now we have um, 2.2.5, and then let's go to our textbook, then go to limited choices, copy the code, and then paste it here, Control V, and then let's run app, save selected. So here again, this first question, the drop down menu of 50 states, created by the select input function, right? And then here it selects one of the six options. This is created by radio buttons function. All right. Okay. That wasn't too hard. So the second case. So again, this is another case of limited choices. Now, the thing is, the radio buttons function, this is another another property of radio buttons function, and that is it collects inputs that are not plain text, like is this angry face and smiley face and sad face, right? So not plain text. We can collect this type of information using radio buttons, right? You can see that the code is slightly different. So we have input ID and then the label. And then we're using two other arguments here, choice names and choice values. All right. So again, we can go to our studio and okay, let's close this app. Oh, by the way, we needed to save this file. Let's rename this as .a, okay? And the second case, let's save this as .b, okay? And then go to textbook, and then let's save this, let's copy this code, and then run app. So there you go, right? So what this input does, or what this input creates, what type of output, we're going to see, it's going to be more clear once we add the server function, okay? All right, so let's close this and then move to the third case of limited choices. So in this case, we are, so what if we want to allow the user to choose multiple options, okay? Because in the previous cases, the user was only able to choose one option, right? So let's try this. Multiple choices, okay? So go to File tab, Save As. This is case C. All right. What did I touch? Make sure you want to change the type of file. No. Okay, so you can see that it should end, the file type here should end .r, but somehow I didn't do this correctly. So let's delete this. Let's refresh. So let's try this again. Go to File tab, Save As, C, and then save. Okay. Looks so this file was created as an R script. However, the file extension you specified will change it into another file type that will no longer open as an R script. All right. So I All right, so for somehow it doesn't like the file name. So I'm going to say instead of .c, I'm going to try _c. All right, somehow that worked. Okay, let's go to the third case and let's copy the code, Control-V, and then run app. All right, so favorite state here. Now, let's say we want to select Alabama and Alaska, right? Two states. So select Alabama and then Alaska. So it allows you to choose more than one, right? Like that. Wonderful. Okay, so let's close this app and let's move to the fourth case of limited choices. So in this case, um, what if, so in the previous case, the third case, um, we want to allow the user to choose multiple options in a long list. But in this case, we have a short list of options, and we want to allow the user to choose multiple options in a short list, right? So that's the difference. Long list versus short list. All right. So in that case, we're using this functions. It's a new function here, checkbox group input. All right. So let's do this in RStudio. Okay. So let's save this file as D, right? And then go to our textbook, copy the code, and then replace the code in the UI, Control-V, and then run app, save selected. Oh, animals not found. All right, so it needed animal vector. There you go. All right, so out of 6 choices here, the user is allowed to choose dog, cat, mouse. Again, the point is it allows to choose more than one option, right? Close the app. And this is the last case in limited choices. So what if you have a yes or no question, right? So in that case, we use checkbox input option, right? So the first question here is clean up, yes or no. Check would mean yes. Unchecked means no, right? So let's do this in RStudio again. Go to File tab, Save As. Let's name this as E. All right, and then go to the textbook. Um, all right, so where is yes or no question? There you go. Okay, so copy and then replace UI code here, run app. So the default is yes, right? Because the value equals true, right? Um, but if you have this as false and reload app, then it's unchecked, right? The same thing here, value equals true, and then the default is yes, right? So that wasn't too hard. All right, so that was the last case in limited choices. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.